Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is perfect. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is not perfect, but so far, it's an excellent game that brings Pokemon into the modern era, despite all the optimization issues. Like, seriously, there are so many of these that my timeline is just Pokemon bugs at the moment. The early game is pretty standard for a Pokemon game. You make your character, pick your starter, catch your first Pokemon, but you realize quick that this isn't your normal Pokemon game, because the moment you venture past Poké Path, you begin to see the expansiveness of the game. Pokemon roam along the ground, sometimes alone, sometimes in packs. Big open plains with expansive hills and towering trees, and a city off to the distance. And with the open plains to explore, you can have your first taste of freedom. Just remember not to get too close to the water. Also, don't somehow make it onto this island because you can't leave. Forget softblocking. You need to just reset at this point. Once you set out on the treasure hunt, you're welcome to do anything you want. And that freedom works perfectly with the nature of the objectives, because they're set up to try to encourage you to explore the majority of the region. And when you do set out, there are so many nooks and crannies to explore that you might just get lost and fall into somewhere unfamiliar. And don't get me started on the narrative of the game, because the idea of 3 interconnecting stories is just fantastic. It makes every objective feel unique and rewarding, with every objective giving you access to some more stuff. But the thing I love most about the game is the way they finally made it not excruciating to gain levels. I avoided every single trainer in the game and only survived off auto battles and candies from the Terra dens. And the whole game was relatively challenging, to be honest, because I wasn't 10 levels overleveled for the whole time, which usually tends to make me very annoyed with Pokemon games. I do have several gripes with the game, however, like the fact that all objectives are not scaled. That's in number of Pokemon and Pokemon levels. So even though there's an idea of freedom presented to the user, there's a set path trying to guide you along a predetermined route. Although this is a very simple fix for future games. All you have to do is include a badge check before the fight that scales the Pokemon accordingly. The other major issue I have is the way the game treats the shiny Pokemon. Because unlike in previous versions, where upon encountering a shiny in the overworld, it would sparkle and play a sound, in this game, nothing. It's just like any other Pokemon, leading to far more missed shinies than previous games. This can be looked at as making shinies more valuable again, but the thought of all those missed shinies in my head is just too much. And I just wish they'd add something, maybe just a little small sparkle or something, because imagine how hard it must be to hunt a Pokemon like Garchomp. Spot the difference! I guess that's a bit of a different color if you really squint. The chest is slightly different. Okay, no shot they changed the yellow, like what the f. But even after viewing all these bugs, glitches, and optimization issues, it is still the most fun I've ever had playing a Pokemon game. Because you can ignore all the bad stuff if the game allows you to do anything you want. Want to go up to the freezing mountains? Sure. Want to swim around the lake? Well, you might have to do some of these quests, but you can do it. And they give you these waypoints to hit along the way, and they don't feel meaningless at all, because every single time you complete an objective, it gives you a reward. It could be giving you multiple extra transportation options, or it could be just LP. You can take your time. You can stop and smell the roses. The game is a perfect mix of Breath of the Wild's feeling of vastness, Sun and Moon's story, and Cyberpunk's crazy user experience. I can't help but think this game would have felt a lot different though, if they gave the developers just a year longer to work on it. Or even to just go ahead and hire more people, because Lord knows they have the money to do that. But personally, this is still the best Pokemon game I've ever experienced. And to have this game come out only 10 months after Arceus is honestly just a privilege. So I hope all the devs are proud of themselves, and I hope the gaming community can look past some of these bugs and appreciate the game for what it is, better than Sonic Frontiers.